Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. 3 Dallas Cowboys free agents the team must re-sign this offseason. Dallas fans are preparing for a long offseason, and for good reason. There are 27 impending Cowboys free agents. Their head coach search has been nothing short of exhausting, and they promise limited spending once again. While Brian Schottenheimer and Kellen Moore are understandably taking up the headlines, what Dallas decides to do with their free agents is equally important. Whoever the next head coach is could have their inaugural season enhanced or handicapped by the Cowboys' front office decisions. They have to spend if they want to compete, and that means re-signing key players. Which players should they target? How much money will they cost? Let's take a look at the 3 Cowboys free agents that the team must re-sign in the 2025 offseason. Osa Odighizuwa, emerging star in the trenches. If you're a Cowboys fan, you know how much the team has struggled at defensive tackle in recent years. From Tristan Hill, to David Irving, to Gerald McCoy, things have simply been a slug on the interior defensive line in Dallas. This is why the Cowboys' off-season plans must start with extending Osa Odighizuwa's contract. Since his rookie season in 2021, the former UCLA Bruin has been getting better each year, and he is now one of the key players on the Dallas defense. Odighizuwa is coming off career highs in sacks, tackles, and quarterback hits, and he is only 26 years old. When you have a guy putting up those numbers who hasn't hit his prime years yet, you keep him around. He would be one of the hottest commodities on the open market, and bidding wars with other teams don't work out well for Dallas. They should put the full-court press on extending Odighizuwa as soon as possible. Kendricks, indispensable linebacker. The 2024 Cowboys free agent list was headlined by Ezekiel Elliott and Kendricks. Signing the aging veteran had more to do with Mike Zimmer's presence than anything, but he has now become indispensable to the defense. Kendricks, 32, played in 15 games for Dallas and finished with his highest tackles total in 4 years. That's impressive, considering his age. 138 total tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 sacks are hard to replicate for such a low price. Kendricks only cost the Cowboys $3 million in the 2024 season. While his performance beat expectations, he will still be a year older next season, so I'd expect his price range to stay the same. Dallas should re-sign Kendricks quickly before another team steals him. Brandon Cooks, bargain deal for veteran weapon. You don't need me to tell you the Cowboys front office loves a bargain. If they can get somebody for cheap, they will do it. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks could become that signing for Dallas in 2025. At 31 years old, Cooks' value is declining solely based on his age, but when you throw in his 2024 campaign, that price will drop even further. Cooks has seen his receiving yards and total receptions decline in each of the last 3 seasons. In addition to that concern, he struggled with his health in 2024, playing in just 10 games for the Cowboys as he battled an infection after a mid-season knee surgery. When you combine that with the statistical drop-off, most teams get scared. Dallas may be the opposite, however. The team has a young and unproven wide receiver room outside of CeeDee Lamb, and Cooks offers stability and leadership. When you throw in the possibility of a highly touted rookie joining that group, their interest in re-signing Cooks could increase. He may be the perfect low-risk, high-reward veteran for the Cowboys in 2025. Cowboys close to hiring new coach that will make fans livid. It feels like the Dallas Cowboys rarely take the straightforward route, in any situation. Perhaps it's the desire for attention and eyeballs, or maybe it's a constant feeling that Jerry Jones and other ownership can always outsmart the room, making the obscure choice based on a few facets everyone else supposedly missed. And they're back at it again this coaching hiring cycle, after declining to re-sign head coach Mike McCarthy. One would imagine that Dallas would push their search far and wide, across a litany of candidates to try and find their guy, the coach who can finally get the Cowboys back to the promised land after 30 years of above-average mediocrity. But despite the Dallas job being, on paper, the most appealing, a bona fide franchise quarterback, an enormous brand and a mostly stable ownership that tends to be fairly patient and loyal to their coaches, the Cowboys chose to interview just 4 candidates. Leslie Frazier, former Bills defensive coordinator; Robert Saleh, former Jets head coach; Kellen Moore, current Eagles offensive coordinator, who once did the same job for the Cowboys; and Moore's replacement, current offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer. Not exactly murderer's row when it comes to lethal candidate selections. Hot-ticket names like Bucs offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, Ravens offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, and former Lions defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, who was just hired by the Jets, were not even requested to interview with the boys. For a long time, Kellen Moore was considered to be the prohibitive favorite in the race for Jerry Jones' affections and the Cowboys' job. Yet, on Monday, the tide started to turn as Moore's odds sharply fell and a new favorite for the position emerged. Brian Schottenheimer became the odds-on front-runner to be the next Cowboys head coach later that day, after having an interview scheduled with the team. Now with that interview complete, there is big news concerning Schottenheimer, the son of legendary Kansas City Chiefs head coach, Marty Schottenheimer, per Pro Football Focus. Cherian Williams reports that Dallas are close to a deal to make their current offensive coordinator their new head coach. Schottenheimer fits everything that owner Jerry Jones covets in his head coaches. He will come inexpensive relative to other head coaches in the league, as Schottenheimer had no other interviews. Jones, who doubles as general manager, maintains control and continues as the face of the team. And it's someone with whom Jones is familiar. Schottenheimer feels like a predictable pick for Jones, an offensive mind who the team, particularly Jerry Jones, feels very comfortable with, and won't try to make a play for additional control of the roster or take the limelight away from the notorious owner. This decision will likely not enthrall the Dallas faithful, who are already upset even at the prospect of Schotty being interviewed by the team, let alone him now seemingly becoming the head coach-elect. If he does indeed become the head coach, the results will have to speak for themselves.